Hey guys, it's Tyler. I wanted to do something a little different. Thought this could be fun as a stream exercise in the future, but right now it's late at night, so I don't know how many people will join the stream. I was just gonna make a cocktail that not too many people have heard of. One I have certainly haven't made before, but this could be fun to share cocktails that I enjoy, experiment with new cocktails, and just have a little more casual, unstructured rambling because people seem to like that sort of thing. I got a compliment the other day that was something like, "This feels so 2010 YouTube," and I love it. I was like, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for, right? Let's sit that there. Block half me off from you. This is called a Brandy Refresher. No one's quite sure of the origin from it, but I've got it on Difford's Guide here. It's a brandy cocktail. As you might suggest, we're going to go in a quarter of an ounce of Grand Marnier or any orange liqueur. You could use Grand Marnier, you could use Triple Sec. Triple Sec is going to be sweeter, less natural orangey. Yeah, you could use any sort of curacao like that, but I'm using a naranja, which I quite like. I think it's got a good balance. It's only around $25, so not obscenely overpriced. And this is screwing up the focus. The fisheye lens effect on this camera is not excellent. Yeah, because this is like, that's kind of crazy. Anyways, we're in a few ounces, or a quarter ounce of that. A couple ounces of our cognac. I'm going with Anzac VS here. Talkative cork today. I always tilt the bottle upside down if I haven't used it in a while, so that I can moisten the cork. That way I don't break the cork off in there, which I've done before and it's a pain in the ass. Smell the cork, make sure the cork hasn't gone bad and isn't imparting any undesirable flavors. Hopefully I've got 2 ounces here. Two ounces, and then, yeah, actually, maybe another shot or so for a Sazerac. That's a great cocktail. Calls for 1/6 of an ounce of Monin cane sugar syrup. I don't buy that. I buy just sugar in the raw. Make a syrup out of it with boiling water and jar it myself. Cheaper, you can control the ratios, you can control the taste. 1/6 of an ounce is about a bar spoon. I'll go with bar spoon and a half, give or take. And then we can adjust that to our own preference. Pop that in my well over there. 5 mint leaves from my dying mint plant. This looked great yesterday and then is just keeling over and wilting today. We've got issues with earwigs and pill bugs and God, all sorts of nonsense. Yeah, I've never had issues with pill bugs, roly-polies, whatever your local denomination is. Eating live plants. Did not know they did that. They do. So I had a whole milkweed plant. Kind of struggling to establish. It's been super rainy here and they like full shade. Probably would have been better to plant it later this year, but it's been the wettest April and a pretty damn wet May, but the wettest April in recorded Oklahoma history. Can you believe that? I don't like the way that last leaf looks, so I'm gonna grab another one over here and say that that's 5. Now, when you're doing these shaking, sometimes things will ask you to muddle and then shake with the mint in there. You don't need to do that. All you're doing is muddling twice, and then you're getting the bitter compounds out of the mint in addition. It's kind of like a way overdeveloped coffee or something like that. You want to extract as much of the good components without too many of the bad components. Because pretty much every plant has some bittering agent that is to tell you, hey, don't eat me, right? No plant wants to be eaten, with few exceptions like plants that we've modified over time. Now I'm gonna go in ice Ice. I forgot ice. Oh my gosh. I'm back. This is a professional operation here, of course. Big old cube. One in. Then I'll crack one. This is a technique developed by Jeffrey Morgenthaler. He found that if you just use big old cube, it doesn't over dilute. But if you use just crushed ice, you get better agitation. So using a combination of both, you get the best ratio of dilution to agitation. And there's no real trick to that. Just make sure your ice is very cold straight out of the freezer. Hold your bar spoon at the end and smack. See it crack there. And the ice flies everywhere. And hopefully most of it ends up in your shaker. All right. Let's build our shaker. Make sure that's on tight. Don't want to blow out. They happen though. Rock forward, rock back. Everybody has a different technique. Then I smack because the metal's going to contract. Make it really hard for you to take things off. Grab a Gibraltar or a single rocks glass there. Fine mesh strainer. And look at that. Gorgeous color there. Perfect. Set this to my well at the side. For those of you who don't know, I am a bartender professionally. It's a fun and engaging pastime. And I think this would look a little silly with a bouquet of mint. Yeah, it would stick out there like a sore thumb. So let's just do a few leaves floating on top. And this bouquet looks sad anyways. It's trouble with mint. All right, and just the aroma of mint is just filling the air here. Sometimes you need to express it if you don't have a very strong mint here, but here we absolutely do. Got a little bit of head on here, which I'm surprised by. I would not have assumed anything in this combination of ingredients would form a head, because there's no fruit juice. Right away, I get the mint and the orange. Even though there's only a 1/4 ounce of the orange in there. Maybe a little raisiny note from the brandy. All right, cheers. Very minty, very bracing. Not overly sweet. Not undersweet either. Just right. That's interesting. It's almost like a drier sort of schnapps thing going on. It really brings out the raisininess of that cognac. Let's see. What is this? Look at the nose on this by itself again. See what that's doing. I had a customer a while ago, a regular, say, cocktails are for, making cheap liquor drinkable. Not exactly. Good. It's true that you don't want to use something that's like, the Dalmore cigar malt, like a $400 bottle and make old fashions out of it. That's probably true. But they can also just be different. A good cocktail should become more than the sum of its parts. It should elevate or change something that's originally there. because the way that our senses work, if you put something in, you put a banana liqueur with some rums and do a banana old-fashioned, a banana rum old-fashioned, the banana notes from that rum will start to take a back seat, and you'll get flavors from that rum that you didn't know were there, because when you taste the rum by itself, it's got that super banana-y rum funk, and that's sort of blowing out the rest of the palate. Soon as you pair it with some of the banana rum, and you can do this with a Coke too, have Coke by itself, have Coke with a wedge of lime. The lime will curiously suppress the lime taste that's added in the Coke. Our taste buds work very oddly in that way. So it's very fruity. Cognac is naturally very sweet, of course, being made from wine. Mint. Orange again. And our scent does matter. Lots of people will say, oh, does the garnish in a cocktail matter? Usually the answer is 100% yes. Because every time I put this up to my face, what's my nose sticking in? Mint. And your olfactory senses, every time you have a cold and you eat something that you normally love and it just tastes super bland, it's because you can't smell anything. And they say smell is like 60 to 70% of what taste is. So yeah, absolutely it matters. Well, I won't finish this whole thing on camera, but I would like to get a few more compelling tasting notes on it. Like I said, plenty of that mint's extracted. Didn't need to muddle it at all. Even only 5 leaves. Very minty, very refreshing. Got that cooling effect on the palate. Little herbal greenness, grassy notes almost from the mint. I think if you muddled it as well, you would get too much of that. It would be kind of weird, earthy, bitter. It wouldn't complement the drink very well as a digestive. Much less fruity now. The mint is sort of additive, and the mint is what lingers on the palate here. It's not... the orange is taking a back seat after the first few sips. I was surprised that a 1/4 ounce was standing out so much, and now, a few sips in, this is more what I've been expecting. Interesting evolution on it, though. Very interesting. Interesting cocktail. Really refreshing after dinner sipper, and dangerous too, because it's got, 2 1/4 ounce of alcohol in it, and there's pretty much no ethanol burn. It is smooth as. If you like a mojito, if you like a mint julep, especially like a peach mint julep that you do with either peach crown or with, like a 1/4 ounce of peach schnapps in there, very similar vibe going on here. But of course with cognac instead of whiskey, so fruitier, smoother, really a good drink. Not something I think if you change the bitters, if you add bitters at all, in fact, you could get a real variety on this. This is something that's great for riffing off of, almost certainly. Well, yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Would you like to see more streams like this, more back and forth, where we make a drink and then we chat, and then, maybe once I've finished the drink in the stream, maybe make some more? Let me know. This is what I do for a living and for a hobby, obviously, as well. I am one of the people blessed to be able to make a living doing my hobby. Cheers. Hope you guys are drinking something good, and I'll see ya.